Okay, good afternoon, folks. God, that music gets me every time. Good afternoon. Welcome to the first Friday of the month. That can mean, of course, only one thing. It's non-farm payroll. And guess who's joining me today? Is he joining me? I think he is. Max, can you hear me?
Good afternoon, I can hear you absolutely fine, Andrew.
Great. Well, let's just hope. We were chatting offline a moment ago about these live events. You know, do you get a little bit nervous? Maybe. I don't get nervous about the live event. I get nervous about the technology. Last month we had a bit of an issue with the technology. I've been assured by the powers that be, that everything is going to be fine today. So thanks all for tuning in to this live event. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, we do this every month. We do this every non-farm payroll event. It's a chance for you to see a little bit about what we do, basically, throughout the trading day, throughout the trading week. It's a little bit of a snippet. So you are more than welcome today. And this is the first time we've got Max on as well. So Max, welcome. Hi, how are you going?
Not too bad at all, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm good indeed. In fact, last month might have been a bit different. You've joined us today on, I think, what could be the biggest non-event, non-farm payroll that we've seen for a long time. I mean, it's really been an amazing week in the markets. How have you fared?
Yeah, not too bad in the stocks. I've actually found, in all fairness, I've actually not done amazingly well in the FX space. I mean, just turning over a small, consistent profit inside the room with the community members, but it's not been blinding in comparison to the stocks. I mean, you know, this sort of the whole global pandemic at the moment, the risk scenario, you know, that's going on in the stock market. It's been absolutely wonderful in terms of the shorts, but FX space not so.
Well,
amazing.
the FX. The FX really. I mean, I know you did get too involved in that. I know your strategy. Sometimes it goes sort of like for pullbacks and so forth. It's been a playground, quite frankly, for the trend followers. It's been a massive case of buying the safe haven currencies, the yen, the Swiss, even the euro now, the low yielding currencies, and selling all those commodity currencies. You know, the Canadian dollar on its knees again, oil with Russia not helping in a moment ago, oil dragging down the CAD and the Aussies as well. So it's been a great market really for trend continuation for FX. So anyone that's been following that trends this week should be making some money. So that's good. Just a quick overview for those that are new here, what we do here now. Over the next, say, 10, 15 or 10 minutes now, we'll just have a quick overview of non-farm payroll, what we expect to happen. Then in a moment, just before the announcement, I will spin around. I'll get onto the charts as well, look for potential trading opportunities. And after all the fun of the fair, we will do the weekly prize or the monthly prize giveaway, where we give away $1,500 in cold hard cash. Everyone is able to enter. I give away $500, not my own money, it's certainly not Max's money. Never seen him put his hand in his pocket, quite frankly. But we give away $500 for the best room contributor, people that have been active in the room. $500 for the best trade signal provider. Doesn't mean they're all winners, but the one that's taking it seriously. And $500 in a random raffle, which is for all those auditors sitting out there in the in the sides, not getting involved. But everyone's got a chance to win that. So that's basically what we will do. Just so, I just want to give a little bit of an overview of what non-farm payroll is all about, mindful of the time as well. Ordinarily, let me just turn that score down. Ordinarily, non-farm payroll is the biggest event of the calendar month. Basically, it tells us what the state of the economy is doing around the world. We've all heard that expression in the past, when the USA sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. Maybe that's a bit poignant in this climate, but at the moment, the non-farm payroll numbers that are out today, maybe not as important as before. Historically, or normally, the non-farm payroll tells us how many people are joining the workforce in the US. People joining the workforce means the economy is doing well, means the economy is buoyant. It means people are spending money. It means people are out there enjoying the things and it's costing them money. Prices go up. As we know, central banks around the world, their main job is to control inflation. So the job numbers are the first signs, potentially, of prices going up. And what happens when prices go up? Usually, the central bank of that particular country has to move interest rates higher to stop people spending more money. It encourages people to save money and it encourages people not to borrow money, high interest rates, clearly. So that basically puts a drag on economic activity. So this is the big event. But if you've been following what's been going on this week, the Fed, that's the US Central Bank, they cut interest rates this week, completely unexpected, some might say, by 0.5%. Got in the markets, taking the markets totally by surprise. So at the moment, because these numbers are normally a clue to interest rates, I don't think they're relevant this time. I don't think they're relevant at all. And in fact, Kaplan, who is the Fed Dallas governor, mentioned late last night, I was listening to him here in the UK, that he will be all looking about the development of the coronavirus more than he will be looking at the actual individual data points. And this month's data is basically all the jobs that are added in February. In February, I mean, 2 weeks ago, this is when it all started kicking off. This is when the fatalities were kicking in. This is when the numbers were accelerating. So these numbers, quite frankly, are irrelevant. Max, you said offline that you're going for 100, and what are you going for on the numbers?
I aim for about 110 this time around, Andrew. I think it's going to be less than expected, with a significant decline off of the 225k previous figure on that one. But like you said, I would reiterate the fact that this time around it's just going to be swallowed. It's just going to be swallowed by the global sort of the global environment at the moment.
The big elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the markets are going actually. I mean, I'll tell you what. In fact, guys listening in, Max and I were obviously talking about this before we came on stream, just about our views of how we're going to play this. And no two traders has to agree with each other. Often Max will be on one side of the trade and I'll be on the other side of the trade. That doesn't matter. Because obviously, that's what makes a market, and no one's got the monopoly on the right decision. However, we both agreed actually before we came on the sort of potential way to play this. The potential way, I think, is that a good number historically is good for the US dollar. We're going for, it's on the screen now, isn't it? It should be on the screen, yeah. 175,000 for the non-farm payroll. That means 175 people adding to the workforce. That will push the average hourly earnings potentially up to 3% year on year, and the unemployment rate at 3.6. That's what the market's going for. Now, a strong number, generally speaking, is anything above that. Say 200,000, for example, would be a strong number. Average hourly earnings coming in at up 0.4. The unemployment rate dropping to 3.4%. These would be good numbers. These would be good for the US dollar. Historically, you buy the US dollar on strong numbers. But I think today, if we see a bounce, and Max agrees, if we see a bounce in the US dollar immediately after this data release comes out today, because it's a good number, we'll be selling into it because it's going to be short-lived. What's dragging down the US dollar at the moment is nothing to do with how many people joined the workforce in February. The next 6 months is much more crucial than what happened in February. And the Fed made this move only this week, showing you how concerned they are. So that's basically how we'll be playing a strong number. Do you agree with that, Max? I think that's what we're sort of talking about.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, there's no way on a good number that I'd be buying into the dollar instruments at all. I would just be using that as a good opportunity to get involved with continued shorts. The bearish momentum across the park at the moment is, it's looking really, really weak across all the dollar pairs.
Yeah.
So there's no way I'd want to be buying off the back of a good NFP. Just use it for continued short selling.
Absolutely, and if you, I know it. In fact, you said to me in the week, maybe I overcomplicate things sometimes when I'm talking about bond yields. But if you look at bond yields in the US, they're down at 0.72% at the moment. They were up at 1.8 beginning of the month. Okay, there's been a 100 basis point cut drop in the US bond yields. Bond yields lower means the dollar should go lower, and the dollar is under big pressure. If we see weak data, just looking at the time again, if we see weak data, well, weak data is basically what Max is suggesting in there at about 110,000. Weak data I put down on my sheet here before we spoke was 120,000, 120, 110. That's all weak data. Historically, that is bad for the US dollar. And an average hourly earnings, if they were to see a drop down to 2% or unemployment rate rising to 3.7%, that's weak for the dollar and weak for the economy. We think that if you see another round of weak data today, on these numbers, that would just cement the case for a sell of the US dollar. We've got some targets in there. Well, this is my initial target, or our initial targets on the dollar yen on a week data. We can see that pushed down to 104.50, and euro dollar basically rising to maybe 13.70, even up to 114. If anyone read my FX Street article a couple of days ago, it's only about a day and a half ago earlier, dollar yen was trading at 107.50, and I called 104.50, expecting that to be maybe in a week's time, maybe 2 weeks' time. I saw today we had a print of 104.99. We're in the 104 handle already. It might even be there now when I spin around in a minute. So the dollar is under big pressure, and I think the best way to be playing the dollar at the moment to the downside is by playing it against the historical safe haven currency, the Japanese yen. And, you know, I'm not a massive big fan of ever buying the euro in this in climate with their economy, but I think the euro, I think the dollar against the yen will be the way we'll be looking at. You agree with that, Max?
Yeah, entirely. I'm not a fan of Euro USD either, as most of the people in the room know. So USD yen would be my instrument of choice of this one as well.
Let me just spin around, hopefully not knocking over all the mics here, so you can see. Don't see my my bald head there, Max. That's not good, is it? Let me just. There you go. There we go. That's much better. Right. Oh, there you are, Max. You've got baseball cap on. Looking good. Looking good. Friday, dress down Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, in the city in the old days, on every Friday, everyone used to wear a polka dots tie. That was the thing we had to do. We always had to wear a tie, but it was a dress down day. We wore a polka dots tie on a Friday. Gone are the days, you young guns there with your baseball caps. Right, who's in the room today? We've got Wino, we've got Yo-Yo, we've got John ND, we've got a whole bunch of new people there. We've got 415 people tuning in today, Max, and that's great. We've got more, 1,000 or so listening in on YouTube as well. So this is what I'm looking at myself. This is the, hopefully you can see my chart, Max. You should be able to. We're looking at the dollar yen. Okay, so this is the way I'm going to be playing this today. We've got about 2 minutes. I will say this, for those that don't follow us on a daily basis, if you're trading the Forex market, if you're trading any market, you should be putting at the forefront of your mind risk. You should not be trading without risk control on each and every trade. We use this risk management tool. It's been nicely coded up for us here at, I think it could have even been Will, actually, if he's listening in. This is our risk management tool. I'm going to be risking on this NFP event. It's only a streaming account. I'm going to be risking 1% on here. Okay, so I put my 1% in there. I turn this tool on, and this is going to do all the work for me. I'm looking at potentially selling the dollar on a bounce. My green line is my profit target. My red line is my stop. I'm just going to move that over there. In fact, I'm just going to make that a bit bigger screen. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at maybe knocking out some dollar. If we indeed have a big bounce, I need to switch a pending order, which is my entry order here. So at the moment, if you look here on the screen, you'll see the risk reward ratio. I will never be risking more than 1% on this account. This is my risk reward ratio. I will be looking at a short. If we get back up to 105, I'm going to put a cheeky little offer in at 105.50, which will be for me a nice little level to knock some out. 105.55, that will do. I'm just going to place that pending sell order. My stop is up there. It's a protective stop on the event. We've got 30 seconds. I'm just going to place that now. And you are going to hear it come out the squawk first, folks, the numbers. But remember, don't get overreacted by this. I think it's going to be a non-event. We'll see how it comes out. We've got about 15 seconds now. You'll hear it come over the squawk. There's about a 3-second delay on the stream. So there you are. Okay.
$273,000 for change in non-farm payroll.
Wow, yeah.
Revision of 273,000 with the month.
270,000.
3% year on year, 3.0%.
So good numbers.
3.5%.
So I'm waiting to see a bit of a bounce in the dollar, which will be nice. It's not really bouncing.
Canada employment again of 30.3 thousand with unemployment rate at 4.
So they were good numbers out of Canada as well. Reasonably good numbers out of Canada, but both Polos and the CAD dropped rates. Dropped rates.
For a vision of 273,000 And the private payrolls, 228,000 gains against private.
Yeah, so the Canada dropped rates early on in the week as well, by half percentage point, and they indicated that they will drop rates as well. Look, this is not moving. This is the dollar yen just not doing a thing. It's literally it's not moving, Max. I had to keep checking my connection and whether I'm still connected to the whether I'm still connected to the broker. I am connected.
Yeah, it's been completely swallowed. I'm looking across the other dollar pairs as well, barely anything.
Right, no.
Again, at the Canadian data, the net change in employment again of 30.3 thousand.
So really good numbers out of Canada, though, Max. I mean,
and the full-time.
Let's just have a quick look at the momentum meter here, which shows me exactly what's happening on the basket of currencies. I'll draw that down to the 5 minute, and we are seeing a bit of a bounce in the CAD there. But again, it's this purple line is the Canadian dollar. You'll see exactly this push higher as the numbers came out stronger. Now putting back again, but really, I don't know. I mean, this is just, I don't see any big opportunities in here at the moment, Max. Anything you got?
No, I mean, it's always a backup looking at gold to see what gold's done, but to be honest, gold's not really done much of it. I mean, nothing's doing anything. No, there's not really much of anything happening at the moment, Andrew, unfortunately.
Well, exactly. Well, if the dollar does want to squeeze higher, let's just have a look what is going on against the yen. It's stuck there, isn't it? Stuck there, 105.20. 105.20. Monday is the busier. Monday could be busier. Raphael says we could be busy with Monday. Yawn says Bruce. Yes, Bruce yawns away here. It's like the Asian session. I tell you, I've never seen a non-farm payroll like this before. It wasn't just me then predicting a non-event. No flipping moves today. I don't see this is going on. I mean, the bias for me. Let's just have a quick look at the stock market, Max, because the stocks are the one that's really driving this low at the moment. Stocks are.
Yeah, I've got stocks open actually. I'm just having a quick look at them now. Had the media a little bit of a bounce here, but to be honest, it's already drawn in as a support move on my chart anyway, so it's not really a surprise. It's not too much going on.
No,
really.
I mean, there's nothing going on. I mean, that number that came out of the US, I mean, on a normal day, on a normal non-farm payroll, to see 273,000 jobs added, maybe they're all in the health service, maybe they've all just joined, maybe they all become nurses, I don't know. I mean, but to see that number with the estimation of 175, this ordinarily would be really strong numbers. And just as we expected, the elephant in the room is really gonna really affecting this. Max, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Everything paused on me there for a second. Euro is moving. Let's have a look. The euro dollar is moving. Let's have a look at the euro dollar. I don't see much going on there. The euro. This is the euro. The euro has moved 20 pips to the downside. Yeah, I would be still inclined to be a closet buyer of this. Okay, I mean, we've come in. Looking here at the daily chart to the bottom right, we've got 114.20 as the level that I think is going to be challenged at some point into next week on a weaker dollar. The DXY has broken through some key support zones as well, which is the index. And I think this bias. Look at this. Look at the daily chart, Max. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 days. We've just had one negative day in 7 days. We're now above the moving average on the 200 on the daily. And the next target will definitely be up there at 114.20. I think. I would be inclined to still be buying into any significant pullback. My strategy would tell me that I have got to buy into a pullback into 112.80. If it gets down to 112.80 in the next, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I will put in. You have to remind me now, Max, that you're on. I don't take both these dollar yen and euro dollar, but I'm going to take a trade here in buying the dollar, buying the euro dollar if it does pull back.
Getting a little bit of movement in the stocks now as well, actually, Andrew. Getting a little bit more momentum behind the scenes. I think the market's taking a bit of a delay there, just digesting the data. People filling out their orders, filling up their boots with it. So getting a little bit of a bounce now.
Bounce in the stocks?
Yeah, the S&P's having a little bit of a surge at the moment. We go from 29.20 to 29.40. Just a little one. It's risen about 200 points so far.
Okay, well, I am happy to look at that trade at the moment in basically buying. See, that does all the work for me, this tool. It basically allows me to enter the trade. I'm not, oh, it's only 0.1%. I've got to change that to, that is not a significant trade, is it? That's no good for me. There we go. So let me do that one again. It's only a pending order, so I can delete that one and place it in again. That would have been a nice trade, 0.1 of a lot. So I'm just going to place my stops below there. My profit target is going to be up there at 14.20. And my pullback is going to be a 50% from that breakout around the 1280 level. And here we go, 1280 around there, 1277, and I'll place that pending buy. So if it does pull back, I'm going to be selling some dollar on this pullback if it does indeed pull back, by buying the euro and selling the dollar. If I get one of these done, either the dollar yen or the euro dollar, I will pull the other one, of course. I don't want overexposure. That's really, we were chatting earlier, folks, about how to be playing this. I mean, how to be playing this risk-off environment that we're seeing. You know, as I said, it's been great for trend followers. And the trend is basically risk on, risk off. I know I bang on about that time and time again. No more so than the last 3 years that I've been on this platform has it been more prevalent in the markets. It is a massive case of risk off. All the currencies are behaving in that way. You know, all the safe haven currencies, the low yielders, they've all been bid. The Swiss, the yen, the euro now, and the weak ones of the commodity currencies. But if they change, they could all change. So over-correlation, Max, I think at this moment in time is really, really important not to get over-correlated. If you've got more than one currency pair out there, chances are, you know, it's, you know, unless you're either against the correlation or with the correlation, positive if you're correlated or negative if you're correlated. So you've got to be careful about that, I would say. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Overexposure in a market environment like this will blow accounts, wouldn't it?
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, it's a game of two halves at the moment. It's literally risk on and risk off. If we do see a big change and the risk starts coming back into the market, the stocks find some support, and you see another 2,000 point rally in the stocks, all those currencies are going to go together. So you'll end up losing on everything. So you don't want to be basically overexposed. I would say, I think you said to me earlier, that you're only trading one currency at a time, really, with any significance because of that correlation.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and it's, you know, exactly as you say. I mean, if you go, it's like people who short the US 30, the S&P 500, and UK 100 all at the same time. If there's a risk, you know, if there's a risk switch, if there's a risk appetite switch, it's game over.
Yeah.
You know, just choose to trade wisely. Do not go over exposing yourself.
And
the FX market as well.
And stops as well. I mean, stops. I know some traders don't use stops. You know, there's two schools of thought on that. Whether you use stops or not, I sleep quite well at night knowing that I've got my stops in place. We're having a bit of a pullback here now in the dollar yen, so we're getting up to my potential entry here. We've just pulled up another 15 pips from the NFP. We'll see if we can get up to my entry at 105.50. Stops in that place for me. This would be good to get this trade away. I don't know if it's going to be an intraday scalp or non-farm payroll scalp. I don't necessarily think we'll be taking profits that quick or even hitting stop losses that quick. But you know,
further spread of the coronavirus here, with BBC reporting that 2 British Airways staff have tested positive.
2 British Airways staff have tested positive. Oh, that's a bit of a shock. I'm going to Asia in a couple of weeks' time on a British Airways flight. But they don't. I'm sure they don't have that in business class, do they? Can't have coronavirus in business class, surely. just be down the end there, surely. Be back down the other end, surely. Did Andrew's cam freeze? It might have frozen. Yeah, it has frozen. Yeah, let me just change that camera. Let me just change my camera. It has frozen. Let me just delete that for a second. Looks as though my camera's frozen, so I'll just take that one off for a sec and add on a new camera so you can see me. You can see the back of my head now. Don't want to be seeing that. Hang on. The camera froze there, Max, so I'm just waiting for that to come back.
Yeah, no worries.
Video capture device. Right, okay, anything else going on? Just while I sort these cameras out. It does seem to be stalling us a little bit at the moment.
You're absolutely right, Johnny. I've been trying to get him in a baseball cap for Fridays as well.
Get me in a baseball cap. There you are. I have got a baseball cap somewhere. That's the best side. Gosh, look at that head. That's because I've been eating all my hats. Every time I get something wrong, I have to eat a hat. So there you are. Yeah, the camera does seem to have frozen at the moment. Just to bear with me on that. You don't necessarily need to see my face, do you? I can move that camera around, I guess, but there you go. I'll tell you what, Max. You can buy a private jet. It's not a jet, it's a prop plane. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, Max. I'll tell you what we can do now. We can give away some money.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
You know what? 3 years ago, when we sort of started this, the big, the big trading room here at ForexSignals, we started off with quite a small number of people. Slowly over the sort of 3 or 4 years or so, it's been building up, and it's built up not just because of me, or is it, Max? No, now you're on board. You're helping build up the numbers as well. Mark's in here as well. So it's a whole community that we've created here, and it's basically not down to us. It's down to the community members, people that are listening in now. And this is like a chance every month where we say thank you very much for tuning in, week in, week out, day in, day out, hour in, hour out. As you know, we're online 24 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. So it's our chance to say thank you. And we always get together, myself, Max and Mark, we get together in the week before Non-farm Payroll to discuss who we think the best contributor or the most worthy contributor and trade signal provider. So it's not just my decision, it's a group decision. And I don't think we had any hesitation this week in awarding the prize to the room contributor, who has been relentless in his helping of others, adding market commentary into the chat, always there to help and always very polite, courteous to other members. And and Max was the first one to nominate this guy, and I think I absolutely seconded it immediately the second Max nominated him. So I would like to now award the first $500 to this guy that's been contributing over and above in the month of February, and it goes to Okay, congratulations to Fluke. Thanks indeed for all your hard work over the last month. I will give a round of applause. You can't see me, you've got the back of my head. Let me see if I can sort this camera out. Mark, Max, entertain them for a sec while I sort this camera out. There you go.
So yeah, basically, Fluke, he's done bloody good. I don't think he's in the room at the moment, to be fair. But he's done really, really good. He's taken a ton of information on board. He's digested it, and I've seen him numerous times helping out others in the trading room with their own bits and pieces. So it was a no-brainer to give him the award for contributor this month, and it's bloody good. But that's what it's all about, guys. As well, you get individuals like you going through the doors all the time. You need a hand. You want help with the systems and stuff that we have in place. And it's good to see another community member take a little bit of workload off my shoulders, in particular in this case, and do my job for me so that I can sit back and relax and have a coffee. So that's what he's earned his dues. He's earned his dues, this one, I tell you.
Well, yeah, well, I totally agree. I mean, the community wouldn't work without people like Fluke as well. It was a bit of a tight call. We did have a couple of other contenders in the room as well, but Fluke got the nomination this month. Now, the other thing that we do here at ForexSignals, it says it on the tin, it's provide Forex signals. And we also encourage other members to add their signals in as well, and other members can comment on the signals, and and us mentors, we comment on the signals as well. We all put out our own signals as well. These are meant obviously for learning. This is basically what the community is all about. Signals that are going out for everyone to learn from. I don't believe anyone should be following a signal blindly, whether it's mine, Max's or Mark's. Following signals blindly will never make you money consistently over the long run. You might make a few bucks on a few trades, but to follow a signal blindly, basically, I think is futile. But we do encourage everyone to paste their signals as well. And this prize this month goes to someone that has been relentless in his signal providing. But also, what I want to mention here is the fact that because you win it one month, it doesn't mean that you can't win it another month. And this guy has won it before in the past. He won it a while back. He's also won other competitions that we've had here. This particular guy has also been an active participant in the trading room as well, and the commentaries. So he could have almost had the prize for both this month. So I'm going to spin around now and tell you exactly who has won. Before I do, maybe someone can give me a view or an idea of who you think this month's winner is. Just drop down now in the chat who you think this winner is, and we'll see if any of you are right. Let's have a look. What is coming out? VJ is what someone saying VJ, and or Pio saying VJ. We got Waz saying headshot sniper. VJ's won it a few times. John ND saying it's himself. Everyone's voting for VJ. VJ headshot. Oh, Ali FX, Fire Sword, Wizard maybe. Wizard's won it a few times. Yeah, headshot. You're right there. He has won it a few times. Ali FX says. Mark says Fire Sword. Brian says Max. Actually, we did get the numbers. I did get the Donald Trump. I did get the numbers from the back end, from the IT people, of who has literally done the most. And I think it was Max had done the most, but there again, he should do, because that's what we're here for. But yeah, this prize goes to, without any hesitation, I'm very happy to award it to. Here we go. Okay, congratulations to Richard. Well done to you, Richard. Well deserved. I don't know if Richard's in the room. Has he acknowledged it? Maybe he's not. But there we go, Richard. Thank you, guys. That's $500. There you go. Where's the camera? That's $500 whizzing away to your account straight after this stream. Well, not straight after this stream, because I'm going to go and walk Oliver. But soon after that, we'll whiz you the $500. Let's have a quick look, Max, if I can, at the markets. What's going on? Have I got the trade off yet at the in the dollar yen? No, not trading in the dollar yen at the moment. Any? What about the euro dollar? Have we got pulled into a pullback yet? Nothing happening there either at the moment. It really is dead. I mean, folks, I'm not going to be I'll keep these trades in for the stream, but they are streaming trades. I will be putting them out afterwards and going back to my regular strategy after this. But there's trades I still think are valid trades in that the dollar is still likely to come under pressure in the trading days ahead. Right, Max, do you want to give away another $500?
Let's get it done.
Have you entered the raffle yet, Max? Yourself?
I have, yeah, of course I have.
Well,
I do it every month.
Good. Well, I do as well. But the thing is, what I do, and I think we're off mic at the moment. What I do, I enter all my family, all my cousins, and I've got my wife's Filipino. We've got hundreds of cousins in the Philippines. I've entered all of those. I've entered my brother, sister, all the cousins here in the UK. So I have got a very good chance of winning. But anyway, don't tell the room now. I'm going to go back on stream in a second. Oops, I am still on stream. No, and I don't enter my family. Gosh, what am I like? Don't put me on Forex Peace Army. It's all a con. It's a scam. He wins the prize himself every month. I don't enter. Not allowed to enter. And if I did enter, and I did win, then I'd give it back anyway. Right, so this is a random raffle. It's completely random. We don't know who's going to do this, and I'm going to put over the tool now, and I always forget how to do this. Sometimes, there we go. So this is the tool. I can award them here by clicking awards. This is how you enter the competition, by the way. Your screen will look different than mine, so make sure you enter for next month. The competition will be open again in about, after I've done this, you'll be able to enter for next month. What I need to do is now launch the raffle, okay, and I pick a winner. You'll see the names all scrolling through as the names as the back end is going to pick a winner. It is completely random. You'll see the name. Let's just hope that the winner is someone that we know and that's in the room. Sometimes we have winners that we've never heard of. They've come in once and then disappeared. Does happen. Let's hope it is a winner, and let's hope it's got the name Lockwood at the end of it. Right, pick a winner. So raffle building. And it goes to, yep, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my cousin, they're all in there. Oliver's in there, well, everyone's there, there you go. Never heard of him. Back Jaziva, congratulations to you on that. Baj Ziva, I don't know if you're in the room now, congratulations, you have just won $500. That will go straight into your IC Markets trading account. There's no strings attached. You don't need to trade. You can withdraw it. It's not one of these ones where you have to trade, a certain amount to get your $500. There's no questions asked. You get that money immediately. So that'll be winging its way straight into your account now. Only the winners for Richard and for Fluky Boy. Send a quick note to support@ForexSignals.com and they will sort it all out for you. They will make sure that your account gets credited with those $500. We've got a few dollars left actually in the kitty. So in the coming weeks, we're getting our heads together to basically come up with a way of giving away another few $1,000s. We're thinking about doing a competition or an event. So do watch this space as well. We've got more cash to give away. Purely because some of the winners over the last 2 years or so haven't all claimed them. Some of these winners that win the raffle clearly haven't claimed them because they've only popped in once, so the money's sitting there. We've given them 6 months. We've got a few quid in the pot, so we're going to be dishing that out with some future prizes, potentially, as I say, in the form of a quiz. So do keep checking back for updated information on that. No doubt once we do decide what we're doing, we've got a meeting on Monday, then we'll be letting everyone know about it. So everything there to look forward to. Okay, so anything else going on in the markets? Markets are dead. What's happening to the stocks? I said in my Max, I said I don't know if you read it. I think you did read it. I said in my FX Street article this week that we'll see the stocks get back down to 24,500. But basically, it's the weekly support zone that we saw back in 2019. It's the low of 2019, 2,400.
Trump signing officially the bill for $3 billion.
And okay, we're having a bit of a bounce at the moment. A bit of a sort of a, is it a bounce? I don't know. What are we doing on the 4 hour? No, we're not having a bounce at all. It's still coming back down again. I don't know. Where are the big hedge funds going to be doing with their money? Are they going to get protective? Is there more to go to the downside, Max? What do you think?
So, I mean, structural support for me was around 28.80. Now, what I said to everyone in the community as well.
You're talking about the S&P 500, yeah? Let's get that up.
The S&P. So, for everyone who's been following that analysis, if we get a break and a close under 28.80, the next base is 28. Now, the 28 is what I call the red zone. Now, if we get a continuation through the 28 level, then I'm expecting 26, and they're out 24. At the moment, we're actually quite firmly above the 28.80 level. We're kind of, stalled there for the time being. I appreciate you don't follow BCR, but if you had, we've got the perfect daily break, close, and retest of the dynamic resistance, the 200 EMA there on the S&P 500, and we've opened up with another bearish candlestick. So my bias would be for stocks to continue falling off, test the 28 level, and should we get the break and close below it, we could get a continuation down to 26, which would be baseline of support that was generated around the 10th of December 2018.
Yeah, I got it on my screen at the moment. So 28, yeah, I definitely see that as a big level. I mean, it's a big level of structural support there. Basically not back since August. What is it? Beginning of August, wasn't it? Beginning of August.
August 19.
Yeah.
It got generated again on 13th of May 2019. And as we go back, prices had a reaction to this level going right the way back to 2017. Back in December.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, Trump, when did Trump get it? When was the election? That was 2015, wasn't it? So 2015. So basically Trump got elected around here. Okay. So that was around 1,800. And you had that rally all the way up to 3,300. Okay. So everyone that's been investing, all these hedge funds, all these big pension pots, they've all been doing really, really well. Since Trump got elected. They've all been delivering great returns for their IRA accounts. That's the US pension accounts. They've all been having a wonderful run. At some point, they are going to think about protection. You remember, pensions they're not day trading these things. They are looking at, much longer term. And the pension funds have been blossoming with this big rally you've seen in stocks since Trump got elected. A 50% pullback of the Trump election takes us back down to 2,600. That really is a level. I know you said 28, but if you break 28, Max, I could see a real serious challenge back down to 2,600 on the S&P 500. And indeed, if you look at the chart here, I don't know if you can see it because you're looking at the bigger screen. But if you look back down to April of 2018, a couple of years ago, this in fact was a level that we kept bouncing off. Before we had this ascent. So I think 2,600 level for the S&P 500 is a real possibility as these pension funds and bigger players start bailing out to protect their big accounts. They don't want to be giving back too much of their lovely Trump profits. I think so. I think there's a big concern. I don't agree with it, Max. I really, I'm going to Thailand in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to watch, my local Crystal Palace play in a stadium tomorrow here, mixing with all those other people. Actually, I'm in a box, but I will be mixing them on out there and what have you. But I mean, business as usual for me. But people are stockpiling. They're buying everything you can, loo rolls and what have you. People are panicking. It's real. People are panicking, whether you like it or not. People are panicking. People are not out, getting all excited about their holidays. They're basically battening down the hatches. They're providing, So this is going to affect companies globally. Supply chains are affected globally. Everything coming out of China. China's shut down. All these businesses that are looking to, produce more goods. They need the supply chains to be there. It's not happening. This is going to affect companies' bottom line, and the markets are reacting that way. Do I think they should be? No, I don't. I think, quite honestly, the virus is serious, but it's a mass hysteria led by pretty much the media. So that's my view on it. I did a YouTube video the other day about risk on, risk off and the coronavirus. Dreadful for the people that have lost their lives and what have you, but is it just a mass overreaction? What do you think?
Well, I haven't really got much more to add, Andrew. I mean, I've already told you in the past. I've already spoken openly about it. One in the community as well. I think it's much more about being a propaganda machine. Than anything. It's the news lines have got a hold of it, and it's something. It's a big drama, and that we all know the news loves drama. And everyone's just buying into it. I told you, I was actually, so this is specifically for the community and everyone who's watching. Me and Andrew were talking before, but I got a Tesco delivery last night from a DPD driver, and Tesco's in my city anyway. I'm not sure if this is obviously not countrywide, but I had a delivery guy with my grocery shopping, with my grocery orders, because there are drivers out across the board so often that they've had to externally recruit more drivers to come in because people have stopped going into Tesco's to go shopping. Things like tinned canned fruit, veg, pastas, everything like that is completely going out. It's gone out of stock. There is no stock at our Tesco's now. And I mean, the thing, it's a bloody big supermarket. They're really out. Waitrose is dried up for all the tinned veg and tinned fruit and all those non-perishable goods. It's real, the fear is real in the moment for it, and that's what we're seeing across the global stocks as well. We're seeing that uncertainty coming through in the stock market. So yeah, it's bad. I don't agree with it either, though. That's the thing. I've spoken to a couple of members at PHE, and they said themselves for the average ordinary adult who doesn't have any serious underlying health conditions, it would be no worse than a common cold. You'd have a common cold with a fever and maybe a little bit of a difficulty breathing, but you'd be absolutely fine. You'd be able to fight it off on your own at home. And if you look at the cases of the coronavirus and the particular cases of the people that it's affected badly, there's generally speaking there'll always be an underlying health condition there, or they would have had problems to begin with. Well,
that's what happened yesterday. That lady that died in the UK. It's all national news, and the BBC were running it. They're talking about the first casualty, fatality. Bless the lady, but she was 70 years old and she'd been in that hospital for a long period of time. I mean, look, clearly people are seriously affected in certain parts of the world, and it's certainly in China and so forth, and but yeah, there's definitely mass hysteria at the moment, and and that's at some point it will end at some point, but I don't think we're there yet in terms of the fear factor. I don't know, you can see my dog's on my lap, he's grunting all over the place, but yeah, I mean, we're not over yet, and we'll see the stocks. I don't have a position at the moment. I've got a big position in stocks elsewhere, but not on this environment. But I would see stocks basically coming under a challenge into the weekend. Do you want to be long over the weekend in stocks, not knowing what the news will be over the weekend? Think about I'm not trying you to think about it, but just, if I was taking a punt, would I want to be picking bottoms here? Is there going to be great news over the weekend? Will there be a vaccine? Will there be a cure? No, there won't. That's what you need to see the stock market bounce at the moment. And all I can think of is over the weekend, there's going to be fear. So I wouldn't be buying into any stocks into the weekend. So I think the US are going to be. I think we'll be seeing 2,500 today. I think another 300 pip drop in the S&P in the Dow is very possible, and we'll be looking at that maybe 28 handle in your in the S&P 500. Hi George, hi, how you going? Right, I think we are almost done here, Max. Time for bed for Johnny Boy out there, wherever he is. So yeah, well, congratulations, I think, to all those winners today. Thank you again for all your continued support. I am just going to, I'm going to leave these trades in here for now, to be honest. I'll leave them in. I'll update the room if I get out. I mean, if we get a cheeky little pullback into 105.60, it's mostly not a bad little sell. And certainly with stops above 106, I think it's supposed to be quite a good trade, and as the fear factor still kicks in next week. The euro dollar, I am going to pull my euro dollar trade. Just happy to stay with the dollar Swiss for now. So I'm just putting that one, but we'll keep the the dollar yen trade open at the moment. Good trend continuation. Okay, folks, that's about it from me. So if you are knocking off now for the weekend, if you're in Asia Pacific and that's your lot, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you all again next week. Could be another exciting week. Watch the stock markets, of course. And if you're tuning in from Eurozone or the UK or the US, well, we've still got another few hours of trading to go, and we'll be hanging out here in the room. So thanks all for turning up, and we will see you very, very soon. Over to you, Max.
Thanks, guys. Take care, guys. Really good week this week. As I said, it's been a pleasure working with every single one of you. I back Andrew on everything he says as well. You know, you guys earned the prizes that we've given away today. So have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to catching all of you on Monday. Take care, good luck, and trade safe, folks. I'll see you then.
Cheers, guys. Good luck.